What's up, my juice lovers? Welcome to the Cold Pressed Truth. This is Charlie Wetlaufer. First of all, welcome back. I know I haven't made any content in a long time. 2020 was a really crazy year for me with the pandemic. Being stuck in Canada for a while. I had a baby girl, Sakura. It was beautiful. I love her. So 2020 was full of ups and downs. But I have moved my family to Austin, Texas, and we love it here. So this is the first video I'm making in my new home. So in this episode of Juicy News, we're going to be talking about some news that was just released yesterday, July 13th, 2021, in that Suja Juice has been fully acquired by a private equity firm. We're going to look at who acquired them, how much I think they might have been acquired for, since it's not public information, what this means for the juice industry. Okay, let's get into it. First of all, the basic press release here. Suja Life, the California-based leader in cold-pressured, by the way, I hate that term. You've been following me long enough, you know why. Cold-pressured organic beverages announces today its acquisition of Paine Schwartz Partners, by Paine Schwartz Partners, a global leader in sustainable food chain investing, from Goldman Sachs Asset Management and co-investors. So they purchased it from Goldman Sachs and co-investors. This news comes after an unprecedented year for Suja in both revenue and profit, which, by the way, is the case for a lot of juice companies and health and wellness companies in 2020. Financial terms of this transaction were not disclosed. Okay. First of all, let's look at who is Paine Schwartz Partners. So it is a firm who they've invested in over 60 plus companies, 5 billion plus in total acquisition value. So, I mean, let's put it this way. There are much bigger funds out there, but this is not a small fund by any means. Like 5 billion is a pretty good amount. So they definitely got some money to throw around for acquisitions like this. So some companies they have acquired here. I mean, you have all these agricultural kind of technology companies, Advanced Agrilytics, which is analytics for agriculture, AgroFresh. AgroFresh is a global leader in providing pre- and post-harvest solutions, technologies, and services to enhance the quality and extend the shelf life of fresh produce. There's an agro technology company. Let's see. We have, this is an interesting one, Scan Bio. Transforms marine byproducts from sustainable fisheries and sea farming into highly valuable animal feed ingredients for pets, livestock, and fish. So I don't know what marine byproducts are. I don't know if they're talking about fish poop here or something else. Here, this one, SNFL Group, licensing and marketing of proprietary table grape varieties. So they have patented grape varieties, I guess, and they license them to farms who grow these grapes and sell them, or distributors or whatever. Here's one that is a supply chain partner to the global seed industry, providing specialized production, processing, and distribution services to a diverse set of end customers for an expansive set of seed varieties. So this looks like more kind of IP, intellectual property, seed stuff. I mean, so far, none of these are at all similar to Suja, right? But then there's this Urban Farmer, which is a little bit more similar. Urban Farmer is a market-leading plant-based specialty dough contract manufacturer. Okay, it's kind of long-winded there. Basically, what they do is they make dough for companies that use dough in products. So if you buy frozen pizzas or bread or something, they basically make the dough for you, so you don't have to make it. I know, like grocery stores, even a lot of grocery stores that have a bakery, quote unquote bakery, they buy frozen dough and then they just put it in the oven. Maybe this company makes dough like that. Driven by quality and operational excellence, the company exclusively uses plant-based ingredients and best-in-class gluten-free manufacturing facilities produce a differentiated and growing portfolio of specialty dough products. So, I'm talking about gluten-free Plant-based. This is becoming more similar to Suja. And these funds, they form strategies, right? So maybe they figured, okay, if we purchase this dough manufacturer, they can buy ingredients from some farms that use these other technology products to increase their profitability or shelf life or whatever. And somehow they figured that Suja is going to play into this strategy. The fund's not going to tell you exactly what their strategy is. So this is the company that purchased them. Now let's look at how much they could have got acquired for. Now the most recent data we have is from this article in March 4th, 2019 in Forbes magazine and Forbes online. This was an interesting article because to me, this read like an advertisement saying like, hey, we're looking for someone to acquire us. And it didn't look like Coca-Cola was playing ball, okay? And we can go through the article and explain why. But I believe this is the most recent data we have to try to figure out how much maybe the acquisition was for. Starts off kind of, it's just like press release, hoo-ha. Like the company has invested some $30 million in this new plant. Now it sells 95 drinks from kombucha to drinking vinegars and plant-based protein milks. It moves quickly to get them to shelves from Target and Publix to Costco and Whole Foods. And this next sentence is clearly kind of trying to hint to any potential companies that might be interested in acquiring them and why this might be a good investment, okay? It reads, in fact, it can develop an entirely new product and get it to customers within 8 weeks, a speed rare in the beverage industry. So it's kind of like, hey, if you guys purchase our company, we already have 95 beverages. You could introduce another 50 or 100 or whatever, or maybe even some other food products very quickly and put your money to work, right? That agility has enabled Suja to develop more than 250 products in the 6 years since it was founded. On any given day, the factory is producing as many as 15 different styles. Now, this next data point is very important. Suja hit $100 million in revenue for the first time, a milestone in the perennially crowded industry with gross margins of 40%. It's tripled in 4 years when sales top 40 million. So now what they're saying is, hey, not only are we profitable, but we're growing and we had record revenue. Now, this was written in 2019. So in 2018, they're saying they hit $100 million in revenue. Okay, so now we get a little bit lower. Now it reminds us of some other investment data here. Suja Life has secured about $125 million in all. Its main backer is Coca-Cola, which teamed up with Goldman Sachs in 2015 by a 50% stake. That was a big deal back then. Trying to remember what this deal was with that. I think they paid like $40 million for 50% of the company. Years later, Coke invested another $11 million, increased its stake by another 3%. Okay, and then the really key element here. Well, it's in 25,000 stores. It sold for $2.99 to $3.99. It's worth noting that when Suja was first released, it was $9.99 a bottle. Organic, cold pressed juice, made in San Diego. And in my opinion, the juice definitely doesn't taste as good anymore as that it used to. Not surprising. I mean, with the growth and bringing the price point down, they have to make some sacrifices. I'm not hating on the brand. I think they've done a great job. They've definitely raised awareness for cold pressed juice in general. This is the really interesting part of this article, okay? As far as the possibility of an acquisition by Coke goes, Church says they've been great. They follow through on investments that were unanticipated, which is really the test of a good partner. That they're willing to step up, okay? It sounds kind of like before you insult somebody and you go like, look, I don't mean to say anything bad about them, but, okay, now here's the second part. If we both ultimately want to be together, then we'll be together. If we don't, then it won't. I'm enthusiastic about the options and opportunities that we have with Coke and without Coke. So to me, this was like a announcement. Hey guys, things might not be working out with Coke. If you're interested in acquiring us, let us know. You know, like they got it published in Forbes. They've got plenty of eyes on this. Who knows? Maybe that's how Payne Schwartz found out about them in the first place. Maybe they're an early investor. I'm really not sure. So we know a few things here. We know that they were at least $100 million in revenue, and they claim that 2020 was the best year ever, which I totally believe because I've talked to many friends who own many different beverage companies, and all the health and wellness, juice, kind of tea type companies had the best years ever in 2020. Okay. Health and wellness in general got a big boost when people became more concerned about their health and immunity, everything else involved with the pandemic. So, maybe their revenue was like 120 million, 130, 140 million. I'm really not sure. But let's just pick like 140, which would mean like a 40% increase, which might be high. Maybe it's 130. I don't know. Just for the example, we'll pick 140. And now, so growth, they claim they're profitable. So a growing, profitable company usually gets a multiplier on its revenue, okay? Now, the multiplier can be anywhere from like 2x to 3x to 4x. In a really crazy acquisition, I think I've got the... oh, by the way, I forgot to mention something. At some point after this article was published, Jeff Church, this guy here, he actually exited the company, and they got a new CEO, Bob DeBoard. Now, there's not a lot of information available about him online, but he is a VP Field Operations, Coca-Cola Enterprise, okay? So, again, Coca-Cola had a huge stake in Suja. They must have put one of their guys in place to try to follow through in the acquisition and get the company purchased or whatever. Seems like he probably executed on what they wanted him to do. Coca-Cola doesn't mess around. They've been doing this forever. You know, they know about mergers and acquisitions and beverage companies. So back to the multiplier on revenue. One of the craziest acquisitions ever that I can recall was when Coca-Cola purchased Vitamin Water for $4.1 billion from Guashu, however you say it, in 2007. And the reason it's crazy is because they were only doing $350 million at the time. I don't mean only like it's a small number. I mean, that's a huge multiplier, right? And if we take 4.1 billion divided by 4.1 divided by 0.350, that's 11.7 times the revenue. Okay, I mean, that is insane. So, like, that would mean, you know, if Suja had 140 million, they got purchased by 11.7 times, that would be 1.6 billion. Now, like I said, that's a crazy multiplier. Like, the reason Coke was willing to pay so much for Vitamin Water is because it's shelf stable, cheap to make. They could just put it in their supply chain and be all over the world. And it was fairly successful. I mean, they went from 350 million when they purchased it in revenue for that brand, more than $1 billion per year, pretty quickly, right? So then you figure, okay, so they increased sales by $750 million a year. Now that multiplier is not looking so crazy. Vitamin Water is still everywhere. You see it in all the convenience stores and 7-Elevens, and not just in the US, by the way. It's, you know, international. But in this case, like cold pressed juice brand like Suja, they're the costs are going to be higher, right? First of all, it's a higher priced product than something like vitamin water. Second of all, the cost of goods are way higher. In any juice brand, it's just impossible to ever get the price down to a point where it could be at every convenience store in America. So it's not going to be worth 11 times the revenue. Probably, I would guess more like 2.5 to 3x, something like that, which still would be a great exit for Suja. I mean, that'd be great news for the industry. I do wish they published the amount because I think the industry could really use some good news. But look, here's the thing. Juice is back, okay? Back when Suja first started in 2012, juice was really booming. There's a whole juice cleanse trend going on. And then cold pressed juice kind of tapered off. Kombucha became more popular. But juice is coming back. Juice companies all over America and the world are doing better now since the pandemic because people are more concerned about being healthy and immunity, just living a healthy life. They're willing to pay for products that make them healthy. So I think this exit is a great sign for the industry. It's going to be a good motivator for people that are looking to get into the industry, seeing an exit like this. So I don't know, maybe the details will come out about how much they actually paid. That'd be great to see. Until then, we can only speculate. And this was Juicy News. See you guys soon.